coming to our last workshop that we'll be hosting for the warm-up engine in the lead up to the Blockathon for March 18th to 20th in Sydney, which starts tomorrow at 5 p.m. So if you're in Sydney, make sure to get on the ground, get here at 5 p.m. on Friday, and get hacking with us. So with us today, we have Xylodrone, Prachi, and Damsky to talk to us about radical open source and UX methodologies within Web3 communities and projects. So with that, I'll hand it over to Xylodrome.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. This workshop is brought by KodaDot and MetaPrime. We pride ourselves on being open source, community owned, and producers of public good projects. So KodaDot is an open source, community owned public good NFT platform of Kusama, and it is part of the infrastructure for MetaPrime, and it will help bridge NFTs into MetaPrime. And MetaPrime will be a public good metaverse, and it will provide everyone with tooling for exploring immersive realities. So a little bit about our speakers today. I am a UX UI designer that kind of got into this type of design last year by contributing to KodaDot. But I've been working in the creative industry for the past 10 years and have been an NFT enthusiast and artist for the past year. And Damsky, if you could also say a few words about yourself, that'd be great.
Hey, welcome everyone. Thank you for the mic. So yeah, I've been in crypto for some time now, maybe for around 2 to 3 years, and I have slightly started to shift my thinking from the traditional cryptocurrencies and thinking on the standard basis as an investment. I shifted from investing mainly to being able to actually get more into the code and into the things behind as a community, and with KodaDot, which as Xylodrone said, is a community-owned and free open marketplace. We are trying to build exactly this space, which will be open to everyone, and with NFTs and this emerging technologies like Kusama blockchain and the whole Dotsama ecosystem, I think it's going on a really nice path. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass this mic to Prachi, maybe if she's here. Yeah.
Yep.
Hi everyone. Thank you for having me. So I've been contributing in CodaDot since August 2021, and I've been doing so till date, and I've been pretty active, and I know the platform really well, and I hope to do so in the future as well.
Thank you both. Cool. Let's carry on to our main topics. So, what's very different in the functionality of CodaDot and very interesting is that we value collaboration over competition, and we achieve this by putting all of our issues and tasks on GitHub, which are up for grabs. And then whoever has the appropriate skill set chooses the task that fit them best. And by doing this, we manage to avoid waste of time, waste of work, and everybody becomes autonomous at some point, which means that they get to dictate their own time and in which manner they contribute. with these methodologies, we remain inclusive, and from what I could personally see, you could very well notice how everybody's skills develop. I myself have seen this within myself when I started doing design work, and within a year, I managed to develop quite decent skills within this field that helped me overall. So anything that is beneficial to the ecosystem is also beneficial to the individual, and that's kind of the way in which we are growing. This might potentially slow down some kind of development, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because when things are done right, then you don't have to go back and fix them and therefore waste time. The ultimate goal is for both KodaDot and MetaPrime to be developed autonomously, and that everybody's contributions manage to cohesively build these projects. So since we operate in a bit of a different way, the UX methodologies that we've so far applied is that all of the GitHub issues have been analyzed, and then they were placed within a mind map for in order to construct each page of the platform. You can find this mind map under issue 1619, and feel free to use this as your guide on where to kind of do what. And so, what's also very interesting in normal UX methodologies, it starts with like developing personas and developing wireframes and similar for the products that somebody's building. However, in this case, it works a bit differently because the community and the developers make suggestions on how to improve code in the systems, and therefore we achieve organic growth, and we have decent data and flow of information, which helps us construct the platform in a manner that works for everyone. When this is done, then we test and appropriate, and if anybody has any further comments, these are evaluated. I will hand over the mic to Prachi, who will explain the development methodologies.
Yeah. So I'll start with some of the general information. So we basically use Node.js 16.14.0, and anything greater than that would work too for our project. And we use Vue 2.6.14. I think there is already a ticket for migrating to Vue 3, so we haven't done that yet though. And the basic technology that we use is we use JavaScript and TypeScript, and we also use HTML5, CSS3, and we use Sass for CSS. And for UI components, we use Buify, and you'll see that all of the buttons and tables and that kind of stuff, it's all been done through Buify. And like I said, we use Vue 2, and we use Vuex for state management, and we recently migrated to Next as well for server-side rendering. And instead of REST APIs, we use GraphQL with Apollo. But these things, they're not really a prerequisite for your contribution. You can just learn this on the go as well, and enhance your skills. And we have a really vibrant Discord community, so if anyone has any doubts, or they want to suggest something, they can just go to Discord and they can do that there. And we have people from all over the world, and from different time zones, so you'll get an most probably an instant reply for all your doubts.
Thank you, Prachi.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna give the mic to Damsky, that will give us some info on culture and coordination.
Yeah, actually, this is the beautiful thing about KodaDot, that it's a place for everyone, simply for creators, for collectors, for artists, or either for developers who can get some from everything on the Discord server. So you can see some categories we have. Dev improving KodaDot is basically all around development. We can report bugs there. You can ask about your first pull request because sometimes it can be a little tricky. When you are setting up your environment, it can be a little bit tricky to get everything going. So you can ask, for example, there if there is something wrong with your environment or anything, and there is always somebody who will gladly help you. And we also have a channel for beta, for docs, where you can simply learn about new implementations. And if you spot a bug, we actually have a bug reporting policy, which is a super nice thing. Then even if you actually can't code much and you are good at bug reporting, then if you will report the bug well, then we can fix the bug and you get rewarded as well. And all this information is in the documentation, where we try to update everything on the go and coordinate everyone in there. Also, you can see two more categories, which is the coordination. That's like basically a overall category where you will learn everything about KodaDot. We have stewards channel, which is mainly for active community members who are actually trying to push the community further, which is something like ambassadors. By the way, the ambassador program will be also starting, but in the coordination channel, we basically coordinate ourselves and we can have a chat on anything related to KodaDot. And as the last category, it's the culture, where we actually share more of the, let's say, fun stuff. Creators share their art, collaborations. There are people are actually building collabs or thinking what they could build in the future. We also have a newly added channel, Creative Tools, where you actually can learn how the flow works, how it is all about creating NFTs and stuff like that. And by basically these three categories, the Discord can get pretty full sometimes. So you can also spend the whole day there chatting with somebody around some topic. Okay, so next thing I want to point out is since some of you, or I guess most of you, are familiar with GitHub. Then on our NFT gallery, basically in our repository, we have also or GitHub has a possibility for people to discuss in the discussions category. And first thing, we are not reporting. We are actually every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, we are basically reporting our progress in the meta hours communico, and all the updates are always there in the discussions. So you can always ask questions if you need to find some stuff about it, or you can just start random discussions about anything you like, and sometimes, or usually, some discussion gets done there. So this is basically what we are trying to accomplish is with this, is that we are trying to involve the community as much as possible, because as we are community owned, we really care about what people actually say about the UX and UI, because it is the stepping stone. It's because the product basically is not for us. The product is mainly for the users and for the and crypto users and non-tech savvy people. So that will be about this.
Thank you, Damsky. So the next thing we're going to discuss are bounties. So instead of having a typical competition structure, we have, as mentioned, like all of the issues labeled in GitHub as hackathon. These are the issues that we would like to see resolved. Of course, you are more than welcome to tackle any other ones if you think your skill set is better suited for those. But our preference at the moment are the hackathon labeled issues. each issue has a specific bounty, and Damsky will also say a few words about the structure of the bounties.
Yeah, so the basic premise of this, how it works till now, is that there is some issue that needs to be resolved, and the issue is marked with a label, and usually with a dollar sign, which actually says how much is this issue worth, and basically how it should be hard for you to tackle this issue. So as you can see, we are starting from $1 as you are in the restaurant to $6, if I no $5, and it's basically leveled like this. So the first dollar issues, 50 to 100, are standing for beginners mainly. Basically a few lines or some maybe bug reporting or assistance on some pull requests, and it goes like this to $2, where you actually need to use your brain as we have it in the bounty, and there is some smart solutions to the issues, and it's autonomous. So we are basically working on the issue not alone, but there is not much help needed from our side. Then it just needs to be reviewed, and then the pull request can go to the world. Then it goes to the $3 bounties, where it's more complex stuff, and or some maybe even new ideas, and it doesn't break anything. And then like this, it goes to the $4 and the $5, which I would say are not master issues, but they are more complex ones, where you actually need to collaborate a little bit, and it takes probably some time to tackle those issues. So we will probably be focusing right now mainly on the hackathon issues right now, and they will have the most attention. So we will be happy to help you with anything either on our Discord or in the issues themselves. So there is always discussion. If you need anything, you can always ask there, and I would say this is it for the issues and the bounties.
Thank you, Damsky. And really, our goal with this hackathon is to get long-term contributors and make you feel comfortable with collaboration and overall contributions. So that is pretty much all from our side. In order to get started and apply for the hackathon, you can go to our GitHub discussions, and at the top, you will see the hackathon discussion. And in there is an article on Medium where all of the details are broken down on how you can submit your application via form. There are also links to our documentation on how to get you started. This deck is also over there, and all our contact info. So if you need anything from us, we will be happy to assist you.
Thanks so much for the presentation. It's absolutely fantastic. Does anyone have any questions or comments? I do. I just maybe want to give everyone else an opportunity. Nope. So at the beginning, you really talked about the focus on, of course, collaboration over competition, being able to eventually get to a point of autonomy in contribution, focus on public goods in general. At the moment, how have you found that process of trying to stem towards autonomy, and how do people who have, I guess, came into KodaDot, right, got really interested, might be quite proactive. How do they actually onboard KodaDot? Like, what is that process for KodaDot specifically?
So you could say that all of us that are speakers at the moment have been kind of onboarded through this process. It's actually much more simple than it sounds. You basically come into our like either GitHub or Discord and basically make any kind of comments or things that you would like to contribute, or you assess any of the already positioned issues so far. And I would say, like in almost a year, we have been getting increased pull requests, and we have developed an even more active user base, and we managed to attract more developers. So generally speaking, it was quite a good traction. We just how it has been going is that, like I said, just more and more people started coming in, and through this whole process, we all see if people like working this way, and if they do, they just continue, and that's pretty much it. We've been getting to that point slowly with the autonomy. I would say, from what I can see at least, and what the statistics say, is that quite a few of our contributors are becoming autonomous.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because you guys don't market yourselves specifically as a DAO. It's just it's a Web3 startup, right? But in my experience and into other DAOs, it kind of is getting that feel a little bit, and I think this is kind of like just this natural progression of having a startup in Web3 and the extra importance in community, right? Because
Yeah.
in previous DAOs, it's very much just like get in the community, being proactive, you got energy, you can demonstrate value quickly, you provide a little bit of free value, someone in the team like recognizes that and goes, all right, maybe they can step up the value a little bit and have that what they can provide as an additional test. And if so, you're onboarded, right? Part time, right? So I guess you guys aren't really a DAO, but it kind of works like that, right? So maybe on that, considering the similarity, like what would you consider the difference? Like, I guess with a particular startup, it's just like you still have your core positions, right? Whereas DAO might be a bit more fluid in kind of what the contributor setup looks like.
Yeah, I would personally say that. Well, this is my personal opinion, at least. I would say that DAOs are a bit more gated, and you require certain, I don't know, things in order to be part of these, organizations. Whilst in this case, it's I think that it's way more inclusive, and it's much easier to become part of KodaDot than, let's say, it is to become part of DAO.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
also the work being done in at KodaDot is beautiful at that no one is actually held there, that everyone can leave and look for some other repository or some other contribution, because even if this is not regarding the coders, but if this is regarding normal people who just want to hang out on Discord, we are doing some interesting contests, for example, gift memes contest or logo contests, or we have the bug reporting initiative and stuff like that. And we are always trying to actually involve the community, do a survey to find out how are people actually doing, what is their favorite about KodaDot, and what is their um, what we can improve and stuff like that. So everyone can get something from the pie. Let's say it's not really dev focused. And of course, there has been already a talk about Codel token, which is, I would not say it's in the work, but it's just in the air, and that's how we like things to do. It doesn't need to be like there doesn't need to be a release date of the Codel token, but the people who are at KodaDot right now, they are not in KodaDot in because there is going to be a token. They are in KodaDot because they just like to be there, and not in the pursuit of some wealth or getting rich quick. We actually focus on the long term, and that's what I think is the difference. Also, that it's not main difference against DAOs is that as Xylodrone said, I think it's that it's really not that gated as the DAOs are. That's a good point, I would say.
Yeah, just on that, I think you guys have really done an exceptional job at onboarding kind of community to community, because a key part of having a sustainable community is to get vision buy-in, right? And generally what happens is when a project or a DAO is trying to start community, they've got marketing efforts, right? So you go through social media, they're marketer, they've got kind of strategies and tactics they can play, and some of them do airdrops to try to build that initial community, right? And a lot of that plays on financial incentive as a motive at the beginning, and then generally what they try to do is use financial incentive as a motive to get people into the community, and then once you get that attention, and then actually get them converted into really kind of vibing with the long-term vision, and then them becoming the community members, then becoming vision first, and then the financial incentive will come as almost like a side effect, right? And it seems like with KodaDot, you guys have really got a core community that are so passionate about what you guys are working on, and you can see that with the growth, right? And then financial incentive is just kind of it's on the side. Obviously, people here for that as well, but people here for the long term vision. So kudos to that, because that's not easy. And I think I said just before in the call, it's like the general marketing and kind of artistic vibe that you guys got, I think really fits. It's very futuristic. It's very artistic. I think that helps as well. So I think you've done a great job with that. And it's not easy to get that kind of long term community buy-in. So yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Does anyone else have any other questions? Nope. Okay. Well, I think what I've done is the bounties and sponsorship section are in our Discord. We've got KodaDot. So I guess we've got these links here that you guys have, and can you guys put any other links that you think are pertinent to either the slides or the bounties in that KodaDot channel? So because I know you guys would be kind of monitoring that channel anyway for people to communicate throughout the blockathon. But if you could do that, that'd be absolutely fantastic.
Sure.
Also, actually, just on my mind now, this is probably aimed towards Damsky. What specific community engagement strategies do you employ, like week on week, to kind of keep community going? Because of course you got your products, right? You get updates, people are building, right? They're building code, etc. And what I've tend to found in my previous community efforts, either in real life, running in real life events, or contributing to various DAOs, is that there's an ebb and flow of energy and momentum and attention that comes with any community that revolves around new events that are happening, or kind of milestones that have been reached and then announced, right? There tends to be this flow of like euphoria and then kind of dissipation of energy, right? And I think as a community manager, one of the most important things is trying to keep that attention and energy momentum flywheel going. You know what I mean? To ensure that when things are kind of seem to be quiet, and it's from the surface, it seems like not much has happened, but of course there is, to get people still engaged. So I don't know if you think about this too much, because maybe KodaDot's just got a ton of users anyway. But if you do think about it, do you deploy any strategies that kind of keep the community engaged?
Yeah, I think I can share some of my past experiences. So what we actually found out that is really nice and important is once the community is has been there for some time, and what we found out is really nice to give. We started with giving out some basic merchandise to long-term community members. So they really appreciate that. You could, for example, see the KodaDot t-shirt on Daniel somewhere in the plane, or maybe on some pictures on Twitter, and
Yep.
that's what we are really happy about. You know, it's just a t-shirt, but it makes you like some one day something comes to your post and it's a t-shirt from KodaDot, and it's really nice that you can actually wear this merchandise, and this is one of the things that makes people it's like it makes people, let's say, united. And you can, of course, we have initiatives, for example, for server boosters or for some contribution. If somebody is good at bug reporting, we, for example, send him a T-shirt or something. So that's one part that I think it's continuous and pretty important. And around the other stuff, Corel has quite big community, that's true, but I think it's important to engage with the community. So if you see some activity on the Discord, of course, sometimes the activity is done by us locals in the Discord, but sometimes the activity is also done by newcomers. So what I really see as very important thing is to really engage with the people and listen what they are actually trying to say to you, because when somebody is struggling with minting or with finding out how to create a Polkadot.js wallet, and they are asking this every week, then it's, for example, much easier to make a documentation and then just send them the link for documentation where they have everything nicely explained. So we are trying to always listen to what are people saying, and based on that, create some materials for them if they need it, or maybe just enhance some communication between people and stuff like that. Um, Also, as I told before, the contests are, I think, very important part of the community, because it's just basically a free initiative to for everyone to, you know, make a GIF, which is it doesn't even have to be professional. It can be only funny, and you just get rewarded. And that's what I think. That's the reason why people stick at KodaDot. I think it's really about engaging with the community and listening to their needs and their desires, because that's what we are here for, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's have you released any NFTs at any point?
Oh, we actually on the first editions of Meta Hours, when we were updating our development, there were rare NFTs distributed to community. And what we are also doing from time to time, we have actually seen some of the Meta Hours NFTs already on the secondary market, because as not everyone can catch up with the Meta Hours. Uh, and then we, of course, there's 20 people, and then we send out maybe, for example, 7 to 8 or maybe 6 NFTs, because they are rare. Then we send it out to them. And we have already seen some floating around on the secondary market, which is nice to see that it has some value for the people. And what is also pretty cool around this is that we have basically the spotlight channel, where we have it's a spotlight channel on Discord, and we have the spotlight section on our basically landing page on the web, where you can see the latest drops from basically featured artists, because we have artists that are basically with us for some time now. And from time to time, for example, with Clown World House, that's one artist from our Discord. He's making, or she, I'm not sure now. He is making spaceships. So from time to time, we just put an auction on KodaDot, or maybe do a random drop for every participant of the Meta Hours. So we are just trying to involve the community as much as possible, also around the NFTs, you know.
Super cool. Yeah, it's we're gonna do like a pull up, right? Pop NFTs for our first blockathon, and the way I see it is it's just sentimental value, right? You have your core wallet, and it just sits there, and if they ever do in the future become actually of value by people selling the secondary market, that's just a bonus, right? So it's not an expectation. It's nice to have, but you never know. What if you're working on a project, or what if you're part of a community in a project that's super early, and then it blows up in a few years, and you were just there, and you just got an NFT You know what I mean? And then that becomes a value. Like that's what I think is so compelling about this industry, and what really compels me is like we have so many new mechanisms for people to have some form of ownership to to the community that they're contributing to, or even by working, by building code or whatever, or just by participating. Like people can have some form of ownership of a product or a project just by participating and giving out their energy. And to me, that's so compelling, right? So people, we give out these NFTs and we kind of do these things to think, oh, it's just nice, but the reality is in 5-10 years time, we're gonna have people who are part of these communities and just vibing. And it's already happened, right? It's already happened. And then maybe have a lot of money, and then what's so incredible about that is the future thinking, right? And now they've got financial agency, right, to go about their lives. So apart from everything we talked about kind of the ethos of collaboration and competition, and be able to create autonomy in general, just by vibing, you can get ownership, which to me is just it's mind blowing. So anyway, I'm ranting a bit. Anyway, so did you have something to say, Xylo?
No, sorry. I just thought
Okay.
that it was funny that you said you were rambling. But I think your points were valuable, so I don't think you're rambling.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I don't really have any more questions or comments, and don't think anyone else has. So unless anyone else kind of chimes up now, I think there'll be a kind of the wrap up for this workshop. So of course, once again, thank you, Xylodrone, Damsky and Prachi, for your time. It was really a fantastic presentation. Really excited to see people work on the various bounties that you guys have on offer. And once again, it seems like there's more links than the KodaDot. We also have a README file of all the bounties for all of the projects available. So I don't know if all three, Xylodrone, Damsky, and Prachi, will be mentors, but at least some of them will be available through the Discord throughout the weekend. So make sure you're on there anytime, and they'll be replying with your queries. So yeah, I think that's everything. So yeah, if no one else chimes in, I think we'll wrap it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was nice.
Yeah, thank you. It was really nice meeting you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks.